after duration of around 45 minutes, I clicked on the refresh button when it comes onto the containers that I have in my Azure Daily Gen2 storage account. I can now see that I have two folders or two containers already in place. One is for the HTTP logs and one is for the metrics. You'll see that the HTTP logs container was generated at around 7:45, and it's only after that I got the container and it came onto my metrics. And I'm more interested in the metric information that's being recorded here. So I said, in case if you're following along and you can't see these containers, it does take time. We are dependent upon the Azure platform to go ahead and generate this data accordingly. As usual, if I go onto the metrics container, it's based on the resource ID, the resource groups, the providers, Microsoft.web, sites, the name of the web app, and again structured on the date and the time. And I have my JSON-based file. So now I want to use Azure Stream Attics to go ahead and read this metric data. First things first, what I normally do is I will download the file on my local machine to have some sample data in place. I will ensure that from Stream Attics, we develop the query properly to understand the data that we have, to understand the structure of the data. Go on to my Stream Attics job. Go on the query. I'll just type this. Scroll down on the context menu. I'll upload the sample input. So it's in my downloads folder. Click on the OK button. We're getting a table representation. So we have something known as the total, minimum, maximum, average, the date time, the metric name, so the different metrics being recorded. This is for the Azure Web App. So we have metrics such as the CPU time, what are the bytes being sent, what is the memory working set, etc. And then for each of these metrics, we have what is the average, the maximum, the minimum, and the total. Some also something known as the count. What we do is we'll record the metric name, the time, not the resource ID, and let's just record what's the minimum, maximum, and average values. We'll just write the query for this. If you go onto the raw representation, you'll see again the information accordingly. But let's write a simple query to select the information that we want. We don't need to now use records, arrays, etc. because the structure of our data is pretty simple. If you go onto the raw format, so everything is just coming in as simple JSON objects. So I scroll down, we just have JSON objects in place. Nothing is based on an array. Yes, the initial start of the document is an array of JSON objects, but within that we just have very simple information in place. So we can do a direct kind of mapping onto our individual elements. I can see that I have my job actually in the running state. So I'll just stop my job, and I'll come back once I have the job in the stop state so that we can actually start working with the query. Now I've come back after my job is stopped. In the select statement, I've added the columns that I want in terms of the minimum, metric, the maximum, the average, the time, and the metric name. At the moment, I'm not bothered with where it is going into in terms of the destination or where it's coming from. I've also removed the cross apply. If I test the query, so I'll see I'm getting the information accordingly. So for now, let's mark an end onto this chapter, wherein we have first understood how do we work with the data that we are getting via the diagnostic setting for the Azure Web App. So in the prior chapter, we have seen how we could work with the metric data that's coming across from the Azure platform. Now it's time to define our input and our output, so that we can take this data directly from our Azure Data Lake Gen2 storage account and probably put it in a table in our Delegate SQL pool. So firstly, I'm going to define the output as a table in my Delegate SQL pool. I have this create table statement. I'll execute this in my pool DB database. Then let's go on to save this query, go on to my outputs and output onto Azure Synapse. This is my web metrics. SQL authentication. Let's put the authentication details in terms of the table name. So we are adding the output. The next step is to add our input. When it comes on the input, so remember we have quite a deep structure when it comes onto the directories before we can actually reach the JSON-based file that's being recorded. Note that you will have this JSON-based file recorded for every hour and every day that you tell it to actually record the data, and it will be for, or the record has the 0 minute for that particular hour. When it comes on to the input, I'll add a streaming input for blob storage. I'll just give a name, choose my Data Lake storage account. In terms of the container, so I'll choose an Insights Metrics container. There's something known as using a common path pattern. Of course, for this I'll use a connection string. So what is the pattern that we need to put into place so that Azure Stream Attics can actually pick up my blob? If I just go onto this particular file, I'll just copy the link onto the clipboard. In Notepad, let me just put in that link. So again, let's understand the link. We don't need this particular part, and we don't even need the name of our container. So we are starting from the resource ID. We can tell Azure Stream Attics to go up till the location of our web app folder. So this is going to be static in nature. What changes is the year, the month, the day, the hour, and minute. If you tell the diagnostic setting to keep it on, right, it will, I said, record a separate JSON-based file for every hour of every day of every month of every year till you keep it running. This needs to be dynamic in nature. Except this is going to be static because you are recording it for the web app itself. So in terms of the pattern, there's something known as using a common path pattern when it comes onto application insights. I'll just click on this. It's giving me a path pattern. Let me just copy this and place it here. This path pattern actually can tell Azure Stream Attics that when it comes onto the input, as part of that path, you should get a corresponding year in place. So that's y is equal to, there will be a date time in this format. Then we have the month, it will be in this format. You're giving a dynamic way or a dynamic representation of the date time that will come up in the path of the file itself. This is normally the common way that the logging actually takes place on the Azure platform. So we had seen this diagnostic feature, right, setting for two services. One was the Glob service and now the Azure Web App. And you know, the way that it records in terms of the structure of the folder is the same. Application Insights is again another kind of logging service. So when we click on a path pattern, we're just making use of this common path pattern that's being used across by the Azure services. Now, this is only one part, right? We still have a static path in place. What I'll do is, I will delete this. I don't need to put the name of the file. We can copy this and put this here. We now have kind of a dynamic path in place when specifying our input. So I'll delete all this, do a Control V, and we now have our path in place. Scroll down, so we have our format in JSON, that's fine. I'll click on Save. So we have a successful connection test. How do we know that our input is working? We can go on to the query, go on the Insights metrics input. If you don't get any events here, you'll definitely need to select a different time range. That particular file was read some time ago, but I can see that I'm getting information in place. So that means that the input is now correct. The format of the input is very, very important. See, I'm not giving the direct path of that file. So here I'm not going ahead and giving the complete path of this JSON-based file. That's because we need to pick up all of the JSON-based files that get generated in this particular container. If I go back onto my day, I can see that another folder has been created for the next hour of data. And within this again, in minute 0, we have another JSON-based file in place. So this is now the metric information for the Azure Web App for the next hour. So we can't have kind of a static path in place. It will just pick up only one file. We want to pick up whatever information is being generated also in the future. And that's why we need to have a very dynamic way in specifying our entire path. That's because there is always a change when it comes on to the date time factor. So we know that our input is now also working. So I'll say take it from Insights metrics. I don't have an alias here because we are not mentioning any alias here. And into my web metrics. I'll save the query. Go on the overview. I will start the job. Let me start the job in the past. So I'll start it from 8 o'clock. And click on Start. Let's wait for some time once you have the job in the running state. Now once our job is in the running state, I'm going to select star from the web metrics, and now I can see the information in place. So now we have successfully developed a job that could take in our data.